It's looking bad today. That's how it's looking. Cole gonna break some. And if he don't break some, he's gonna beat the out of him. Over the. Oh. Nice. Oh. Oh. Kill in reverse. So I guess in the ring game, man, this dude got to beating me up. Like, we only sparred, I think 2 or 3 rounds. It was 4-minute rounds, man. This dude beat me up so bad. I swear to God, that was the worst whooping I ever had as a fighter. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I went home that day, like, I just could not believe what happened. Like, because it don't happen to me. I was a kid, and I used to spar with pros. I used to beat up on pros all the time. Like, it was something new. And once he beat me up, the next time we sparred, I always made sure, like, this is gonna be different. You ain't gonna just beat me up. Like, I feel like from that sparring session and just being around Bud Crawford, he's a major reason why I am.
Steel sharpens steel, and legends sharpen legacies. And right now, Shakur Stevenson is sharpening himself with the sharpest blade in the room. Terence Crawford.
Here, only thing he can throw is a hook because you out the way of the right hand.
He like a sponge. He soak up everything that he need to soak up, put it into his arsenal, and then he make the best out of everything that he learned from everybody.
Then throw it straight left to the bottom.
At the end of the day, you don't want to feel like a know-it-all. And the people that know it all are the people that don't go very far. You gotta always be a student. You gotta always be able to learn and pick up things from this person, that person.
He's a work of art. The sky is the limit with Shakur. He got the boxing skills and the ability to, do whatever he wants in the ring. And it's gonna be very hard to beat Shakur, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has, and given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division. And be the last man standing given the opportunity.
Bud isn't just a guest in Shakur's camp. He's basically big brother energy and boxing gloves. Always pulling up, always advising, always pushing him to levels most fighters never touch.
What is that like? I mean, fighting Terence Crawford, sparring Terence Crawford. This guy's a beast. Everybody knows that. What is that like sparring him? Is it just another level?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like a whole different level. Like, I done been in there with a lot of people. Like, I done been in there with a lot of people y'all even see now that's on the scene. But to me is the best fighter that I've been in the ring with, just because of the things that he can do. He can do anything, and you never know what to expect when you go in the ring with.
Insiders are whispering that Shakur went toe-to-toe with Crawford in sparring and didn't look out of place at all. Matching rhythm, matching IQ, matching that cold problem-solving pace that makes Bud who he is. That's wild because Crawford is the final boss of adjustments. And if Shakur is hanging in there, that tells you this version of him is different.
Some days he may come in there, he may box you. Some days he may come in there and he want to fight you. He can do. He's one of the most complete fighters that I ever seen.
Have you ever got the best of him in sparring?
I don't speak on that. I mean, I have good days. He had good days, and honestly, I appreciate him for pushing me to the level that I am at now. So I never like go in there and even brag on anything or nothing like that. But Bud is part of the reason I am who I am, and the level that I'm on now is because of him. So I appreciate it.
With Bud in his ear, in his corner, and in his camp, Shakur isn't just preparing to beat Teofimo. He's preparing to dissect him like a case study. And people around the gym are saying this could get ugly fast. But here's the thing. Sparring is sacred, and everyone knows it. These sessions stay behind closed doors for a reason, because sparring is where ego dies and truth shows up. Remember years ago when Shakur and Teofimo sparred, and the moment Shakur noticed someone recording, he shut that camera down instantly? That wasn't diva behavior. That was fighter code. What happens in the gym stays in the gym, especially when careers, reputations, and future fights are on the line.
Hey, no, record.
Oh.
taking pictures.
So if Shakur is really trading rounds with Crawford right now, you can bet the real story is locked behind those gym doors. And Teofimo might be walking into a version of Shakur that's been built in silence, sharpened by a master, and ready to turn technique into dominance.
Shit, Bud a lot because I grew in the ring with Bud over the years. I remember my first time sparring him, he played with me. That was my first time being in the ring with somebody, and they had their way with me. And they did whatever they want. And then over the years, I just kept coming back. And every time I see him, like, yo, we sparring? We sparring? Like, every time. That's why you'll see so many pictures and videos of me and Bud in the ring, because it's like, I just wanted to keep pushing myself with a guy that I know is the truth. And as we got older, my level has gotten a lot better from being in the ring with Bud.
And while Shakur is sharpening his mind and timing next to Terence Crawford, building that quiet assassin version of himself in closed-door rounds, Timothy Bradley comes flying in like the veteran uncle who's seen every mistake before it happens and refuses to sugarcoat it. Bradley didn't just break down punches, he broke down habits. And when he said the closest route isn't always the fastest, that hit like a chess lesson disguised as a boxing tip.
The punch that I'm worried about for Shakur getting hit with the most from Teo, and he's devastating with this punch, is the left hook, okay? The left hook.
He basically warned about Shakur's love for that straight line control. That centerline mastery can become a trap if Timo gets clever with angles and timing. Bradley zeroed in on the left hook like it's a horror movie villain talking about how it disappears from the frame and reappears at the worst possible moment, and you could hear the veteran PTSD in his voice. Prime example, straight line fighters.
Prime example, straight line fighters. 50-50 fighters, in and out. Shakur can move laterally too. He can, and he will. But most of his work is in and out.
When Bradley starts preaching about fighters pulling straight back and leaning on the line, that's not theory. That's history class with knockout highlights. He's basically handing Teo a blueprint and saying, you don't need 5 perfect ideas. You need 1 perfectly timed up hook. And the part about hooks forcing Shakur to keep his hands at home, that's sneaky genius. Because once Shakur respects that hook, suddenly his whole defensive rhythm tightens up and the freedom he loves starts shrinking.
Talented fighters get knocked out cold by veterans with left hooks that appear in the frame as they're leaning back. It leaves the frame and comes right back into play. So with that being said, man, that's a tip for Teo and his...
I love how Bradley framed it like Teo doesn't need to outbox the technician. He just needs to disrupt the technician's comfort zone. Make him think twice about pulling back. Make him feel that danger on every exit. And that's where this gets spicy, because Shakur, with Crawford-level discipline, is built to erase patterns. But Teo, with Bradley's hook theory, is built to punish patterns. This isn't just skills versus skills. It's geometry versus chaos, straight lines versus curved punches. And you already know in boxing, the punch you don't see coming is the one that writes the story.
Hooks, they matter. Both hands, that matters in this fight. You know what also it'll do? It'll make him keep his hands at home. That's what the hooks will do as well. It'll make him keep his hands at home. And if he doesn't, boom.
And after Timothy Bradley handed Teofimo that geometry lesson on hooks and invisible angles, Malik Scott slides into the conversation sounding like the philosopher coach who's analyzing this fight like a chessboard with emotions attached. Malik straight up picked Shakur, but he didn't do it like a casual fan. He did it like someone who studies mistakes for a living. He kept circling back to Teo's overcommitment, basically saying Shakur is the type who turns one greedy step into a full-blown tax audit. I liked how Malik broke down the southpaw dynamic too.
Okay, with that being said, then what does Teo got to do to win?
He has to get Shakur up. How would I say this? I don't want to just make it seem like come across as if Shakur is novice, but the times that Shakur is putting himself against the ropes, this is the time that Teofimo is going to have to depend on his explosive.
Because when he talks about Teo walking in with his lead hand down and literally stepping closer to Shakur's jab, that's not just critique. That's a warning label in bold letters. And then he pivoted into what Teo actually needs to do, not fantasy stuff, but real stuff. Explode in the moments Shakur touches the ropes, overloads with work, doubles up shots, cuts angles, and defends while attacking, which is hilarious because that's like telling a Ferrari to drive like a Tesla. Possible, but against its personality.
You know, his explosiveness, he's going to have to depend on his offset lead right hands. He's going to have, but even doing that, Teo, everything with Teo comes off his front foot, his explosiveness, his speed, everything. So it's almost like whenever the times he get Shakur up against the rope, he got to pick his shots well, but then after that, he have to be ready to.
Malik also dropped that sneaky gem about Shakur's bodywork, comparing him to Pernell Whitaker and Floyd, the kind of slick guys who hypnotize you with feet and eyes while quietly draining your gas tank. And I swear that's the most underrated part of Shakur's game. Then Malik goes into X-Factor mode, talking about distance control, probing jabs, and Teo needing to punch where Shakur will be, not where he is, which sounds easy but is impossible advice in boxing. But the part that really hit was Malik calling Teo the most explosive athletic opponent Shakur's faced while still saying he's rolling with a better boxer. That's not disrespect, that's hierarchy. And when Malik starts talking about trilogy potential, controversial decisions, and stubborn footwork battles, you realize this fight isn't just about power versus defense. It's about stubbornness versus precision, ego versus geometry, and two young men trying to prove their version of boxing reality is the only one that survives under those lights.